What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Palantir, and I have a really interesting update for you guys tonight. So somebody is making a very large call bet on Palantir for the month of January. Now, this is going to be very out of the money, and it's likely that they probably know something that we don't. Now, before we get into all of that, if you guys enjoy this video, please go down and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button so you're never late on any one of these videos that I put out, and you can stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks and maybe even learn about a couple of new ones. So if we go over and take a look at the chart of Palantir, we can see it's had an amazing 2020. It started off at around $9, went all the way up to $29, tried to break 33 times, and as we saw over the past week, had a pretty substantial sell-off. Now, the reason for this sell-off is mainly institutional fund rebalancing, and it's gotten some downgrades that I will go into in a minute. But this really doesn't have anything to do with Palantir as a company. It's just the valuation of the share price at the current time after such a large run-up. Now, Palantir got two major downgrades in particular with an additional Citron short attack. Now, the first one was from Credit Suisse. So essentially what happened was Palantir shares fell on this Friday, December 18th, after Credit Suisse analysts downgraded shares of the analytic software maker from underperformed to neutral, but they raised the price target of the stock, which was a little bit interesting. And then we have the Morgan Stanley downgrade when they said the company was trading at a significant premium compared with its peers. So now let's get into what you clicked on this video for. If we go over to the option chain of Palantir, I've gone over this a few times, but you can kind of detect where the big money is headed by looking at the open interest and the volume of the option chain. Now, in particular, if we look at the January 15th expiration date, Palantir is currently trading at $23.55. Now, if we go over to the open interest, we can see that it's got pretty high open interest with 4,000, 9,000, 14,000. But when you scroll down to the $30 strike, it's a 53,000 open interest. Now, this equates to about a little over $2 million worth of these $30 strikes that are in people's brokerages account right now. Now, you might be saying, all right, well, it's getting close to the expiration time. Maybe people are just buying more of these contracts and they're gambling, but and maybe you're saying this is also taking a little bit of time to accumulate, but we would see all of these other strikes start to get more open interest closer to this number. And when we go over here, we can see that the volume of these contracts is 12,204. So that means that essentially $464,000 worth of these contracts were traded on Christmas Eve. And when you think about it, Christmas Eve was also a short trading day. So these contracts were getting really aggressively bought by a lot of people. Now, I'm going to speculate that this is some institutions buying because they think that this share price is going to rebound and they're going to flip these contracts. But you don't really see institutions buying such out-of-the-money contracts with such a short amount of time. But it's very important to see and very interesting that there is such a high open interest at $2 million in people's brokerage accounts on this contract. Now, if we go out a little bit further, we can see that the 35s have a little less than half as much of the open interest and a really lower volume. So this $30 price level is going to be very important. And if we go back to the chart, we can see that Palantir made 3 attempts to break this $30 mark and has not yet been able to do so. So you should be very watchful for any significant news in this company over the next few weeks and any other things that could send the share price going in the opposite direction so that Palantir has a reversal. 2020 has been a great year overall for Palantir as a company. They received about $175 million worth of government contracts. Now, these contracts came from the United States and the United Kingdom. So the first contract that we're going to look at is the U.S. Army's Vantage program contract, and this is going to be, they're going to use the comprehensive data analytics platform to facilitate data-driven decision making. So this contract was signed in December of 2019, and it was originally for a base year and then 3 option years. So what happened was the U.S. Army decided that they liked the service that in the data analytics that Palantir provided them so much that they decided to exercise the next year of their contract and awarded Palantir with $114 million. Now, essentially what they're going to be doing is they're going to allow the Army leaders to make data-driven decisions in the fight against the pandemic, and has allowed billions of taxpayer dollars to be freed up for high priority projects. Now, that's going to be a very important contract since Palantir was a very influential part of Operation Warp Speed. Now, the next one is from the FDA. Now, this 3-year deal is worth $44.4 million and was granted by the FDA Center for Drug Evaluation and Research and the Oncology Center of Excellence to use the software to integrate and analyze data, which is basically what Palantir does. It takes the really complicated data that the institutions and organizations have, condenses them, analyzes them, and makes them very easy to read so they can make decisions. Now, this is going to be helpful to approve drugs, including possible pandemic treatments, and monitor the safety of items like hand sanitizer. And the final contract was from the UK, and this was a $31.5 million contract from the UK's National Health Service. And this is going to help, they're going to use this platform to enable patient care, improve patient care, including the planning and the operational rollout of the vaccine, and detect emerging hotspots, as well as ensure critical equipment is supplied to the facilities with the greatest need. So I've talked about this a little bit in my other videos, but basically what they're going to do is they're going to make sure the operations of sending patients and equipment to the hospital is very efficient to make sure that there's no shortages or overcapacity. And then they're also going to make sure that the people getting the vaccine are the people that are the most susceptible and have the highest chance of coming down with severe symptoms, as well as spreading it to others so we can help stifle this virus. Now, I think that Palantir has a very good chance of really going a lot higher than this $23 mark in 2021. If they can keep going with all of these new government contracts and even get some private ones as well, we could see this share price double at the least. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoy what I had for you in this one, please go down and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.